a few predictions. Abracadabra told long time before, if there is a third world war, it will start in the Middle East, in Syria. Let's be realistic now today. We go away from Abracadabra, but is it the possibility that Syria is the beginning and the end of a third world war?
I believe it's already some sort of a World War III in Syria, what's going on, especially if we check the countries that intervening in Syria. But all these countries, they learned the lessons of World War I and World War II. That's why, at least since Obama came to power, they changed the policy of the hard policy towards the soft policy of using, instead of sending boots underground, they might send advisors. And then you have proxies underground. Why should the Americans fight the Russians if they have 60 to 70,000 fighters who are ready to kill Russians inside Syria? And this is what's happening. They gunned down several helicopters for the Russians. It was American weapon, but being shot by the rebels. And the Americans say, we didn't give them these weapons. Maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe Qatar, we don't know, because these weapons are being sold to these countries as well.
Yeah.
So it's some sort of World War III, what's going on, but the outcome of this war will change the entire international political system. We are moving rapidly towards a multipolar system, and the United States is losing its unipolar power and hegemony. It is no more able to dictate what should be done, at least in the Middle East. Now the Russians have the upper hand in Syria. They have a very good relationship with Iraq. They have a very good relationship with Turkey, with Egypt. Those are important countries, and now they are supporting General Haftar in Libya, in order to restore peace and security in that country. Libyans, the Russians are playing a very important role in re-stabilizing this region, because it's important for the flow of energies. It's important for the growth of this area. If this area is witnessing prosperity, it will also have its positive influence on Russia, especially that Russia is also investing culturally in Syria. Now, for example, in Aleppo, in the curriculum, they are teaching about Russian culture. And the people are, we knew about America and about France and about Germany many historical facts and their cultures, their pop music and etc. before the war, and now we are being introduced to the Russians. This is a very important war, because in Eastern European countries, if you check the youngsters, why they are more interested to join the European side, because the other side, European side, is able to sell their culture and their values through media in a beautiful package, you know, and they always portray Russians as the evil Soviet era country that will invade and conquer. This is one of the reasons, for example, in Armenia, some youngsters were protesting against Russia. You just say, why do they protesting against Russia? Protest against your government, you know? Because the NGOs are paying millions of dollars per year in Yerevan and in other places to sell the idea that Russia is your enemy.
And it works.
It works with some people. Yes. And Russia should invest more in such NGOs.
This was my question to the in that moment, Mr. Peskov was the president of the Commission for External Affairs in the Duma, and I was with him on TV, and then I asked him. There were a lot of questions to this man, and everybody was bothering with Ukraine, you know, and Ukraine. And I see he was bored with it, and I was one of the last. And my question was, Mr. Peskov, the American lobbies, they work very good. When somebody, a kind of pro-American fifth column, shows that it works good, they receive a lot of money from the Americans. NGOs receive money from Americans. Yes. And why the Russians are not doing this? And he answered, and then he said, this is a good question. And then he said, because we are not Americans.
Yeah.
We work on another way. And believe me, the Russian diplomats told me and other people, you defend Russia, you do it with your heart.
Yes.
Like the Syrian soldier, you fight for your country, you do it for your heart, you don't do it for the salary.
Yes.
And it's the same. But yes, but I think, my opinion is, what I know from Russia now, they are good chess players.
Yes.
and the leader is a good judoka. He's specialist to use the force of the other against himself. He's very, and that's the difference between a politician and what we say
Leader.
and then a leader. Yes, a leader, a statesman. How you say it in English?
Yeah,
Yes, statesman.
yes.
And a politician is thinking just till the next elections.
Yes.
And a statesman, he thinks 100 years
Yes.
more. And on this moment, I see that Putin is thinking 50 till 100 years
Strategic
further.
level. Yes.
And that's why he say, okay, now we lose this thing, but no worry, we will play like that. And he thinks 15, how you say it, 15 steps before the other. And that's the reason why I think that the before the Soviet Union they played very well, and now Russia is gaining, taking back the Middle East. But they don't do it on the American cowboy way.
Yeah.
We come and we bomb. No, they do it by high level of diplomacy.
I will just comment on one thing you said because it's very important. What you said, if you want to be with the line that is fighting the American unipolarity in the world, do it with your heart, as you said. And this is very important because in the media, we, let's say, who are against the trend of the Americans, we've been accused of getting paid from Russia, from Assad, from,
Yes.
and at the end we are the poor people in this in the world of the journalists, while the other side is enjoying their fortune and their wealth, and we are being accused of that. I guarantee everybody who watches this video that neither Assad or Putin pays anything to anybody. If you want to do it with your heart, do it with your understanding of what's happening in the world, and don't be a mercenary like the Americans do. And at the end, it's always like that, and the history repeats itself. Americans had Saddam Hussein, then get rid of Saddam Hussein, then they did good terms with Gaddafi, and they get rid of Gaddafi. Hosni Mubarak, they will get rid of their men, and even their mercenaries, these NGOs were paying. One day things change, and then they will sell these people for some money.
And as you said here now, you know, I have 3 castles and 15 Ferraris.
Yeah,
But
it's all outside. I can see them.
You sell them, yes. That's a life. Yes, I know that the Ukrainian press wrote about me. I have $10,000 every month from Putin.
Good.
And I have to write.
But you're not sharing it with anybody.
Believe me, after the interview, I will write Putin and I say, Vladimir, where is the money? Yes.
I will send an email to President Assad as well.
Yes,
He's not sending me any penny.
What are then my last question? What are your wishes for the future?
My wishes for the moment is I don't live in illusions. I know that Syria will not go back to the point of 2011. Things have changed in Syria, but my wish is because wishes will also should come with work. So that's why I work for restoring the stability to Syria and to rebuild the society in Syria and to inject the values of modernity, secularism, the love of other communities inside the Syrian society, because for me it's very important that my kids in the future to live in such an environment that they can do their best, because if the other side wins, that means we don't have a place in Syria anymore. That's why I will continue to fight with the Syrian Arab Army. I represent maybe 1% or 0.5% of a media man, let's say a journalist, who is fighting in this very ugly media war against hundreds, maybe thousands of media outlets fighting against us. My wish is Syria to be as beautiful as it was, to rebuild this country again, and for our children to have a good education, universities back. What else should we ask? We are asking these simple things for Syria again, and later on I will do my best to make Syria again on the right track in Syria.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was a good
Thank you very much.
discussion.
It was nice.
Yeah.